thank you for everything you all have done from the very beginning to help solve the homeless animal problem in Burlington and Alamance County, and I stress it's a county-wide problem. The first thing I have for you tonight is something I'm sure is always welcome, a check. We have been talking about getting rid of the gas chamber at the shelter as a means of euthanizing dogs and cats that must be put down. Excuse me. And we worked with our great city manager, Harold Owen, and the folks at the shelter, and we told them if they would find a place to do lethal injection, we would pay for retrofitting that space to do humane euthanasia. And I'm here tonight to present a check for $32,275.04 to the city to reimburse them for the work that has been done and that we have switched to lethal injection.
We always accept money. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I have one more order of business. Also to brag on Harold Owen, last summer, late in the summer, decided to form a task force on the homeless animal problem in Alamance County and, of course, the city of Burlington, who has always led the way in trying to improve this very serious problem. He formed a task force, and several people are on it from all the different municipalities and the county commissioners, and they have gotten to the point where they have decided that really the only way out of this problem is more spay and neuter. You have to turn the faucet off. Since we built the Pet Adoption Center, the county, the PAWS board, and I'd like to recognize them tonight too, Chan Chandler, Jim McGill, Lisa and Perry Nichols, Dick Shirley, Anita Smith, Bill Smith, and Lane Williamson. Two of our board members are here tonight, and my son Sam and my husband Sam. They are getting to the notion that we need a low-cost spay-neuter clinic, and Harold has spearheaded this and got consensus from the vets, and everybody is moving towards this, and I think what they're trying to decide now is how best to do it, and we trust Harold to decide how to make this low-cost spay-neuter clinic happen. Our adoptions have gone up. They're not up enough from 2004. But what's significantly more is our intake. We're like up 2,000 dogs and cats from 2004 to 2007, and we're on target to take in 9,000 homeless pets in 2008. So from a humane approach, we have to do something. And also, as I like to say, from a fiscal sense, our costs and the county's costs are going to do nothing but escalate, because every animal that you pick up or is turned in at the shelter costs anywhere from $75 to $150 to house, maybe find a home for, and some, of course, the majority, to euthanize. So I know you care about, number one, the humane aspect of it, but you also, as public servants, are very involved in the fiscal sense. So we, as a board, met last week, and we pledged to you $100,000 in additional funds, separate from what we've given you tonight, to help make that low-cost spay and neuter clinic happen. And we trust Harold and the task force to come up with the best way for this to work for the county, and we hope, as the county participated in the adoption center and the municipalities are participating in the running of the adoption center, that we will continue that approach to pay for low-cost spay and neuter, and we will reap rewards, you know, through the years, both fiscally and humanely, for stopping the input, because there are just not enough homes for these dogs and cats. So that's our commitment to you, and we trust Harold to make this happen, and the money will be there from us, and we will do whatever we can to help you in this endeavor.
We can't say thanks enough, and obviously you, Mr. Owen, has a lot of trust. So, Mr. Owen, I'm sure you'd like to make a comment to Ms. Hunt.
Well, Mr. Hunt, the husband, not the son, 4 years ago made a comment, and when we were first building the adoption center, it was like getting bullfrogs in a wheelbarrow. You get one jump in and one jump out. So we're dealing with not only the county, but every municipality in the county and making this thing try to work. I will say that this past year in the budget process, every municipality in the county agreed to an increase that has resulted in additional staffing at the shelter, and also additional supplies, because as Ms. Hunt said, and unfortunately Ms. Hunt is underestimated, we may be on the on record now for 10,000 animals this year, not 9,000 animals turned in. So it's a significant problem, and as I think we've all come to grips with, we have to figure out a way to offer some type of affordable spay neuter that will not that obviously that we need the veterinarians in the county to buy off on also. This is an effort involving a number of people. Ms. Hunt, can you speak to, you and Sam, the importance also of the Humane Society? This is an effort that's going to take a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to say the Humane Society does 1,200 low-cost spay neuters a year. So they've been doing that for 10 years, and they need to be applauded, because we would be in much worse shape if they didn't have their very effective low-cost spay neuter in place. And they're doing a great job, and whatever, you know, and I think Harold has recognized that, and he's pointed it out in the task force several times. So we're neutering 850 a year at the adoption center. They're doing 1,200, but we need to do 5,000 or 6,000 a year in this county to start stemming the tide, because this is a very sad problem. Not to mention an expensive problem.
Each animal that's adopted is spayed neutered before they leave the shelter. The Hunts have also offered, when we find an animal that's lost, that is not really our animal, because it's still owned by someone. We've offered even to spay neuter those animals, and PAWS have offered to cover the cost of that. Unfortunately, some of the people who come in and claim the animals don't want that to take place, and we can't make them do it by law because it's their animal. But by offering an affordable spay neuter program, we think that's a way that if we market it properly, that certainly gives people an opportunity. Because I understand that the cost of a spay neuter can range anywhere, and Ms. Hunt helped me, from 150 up.
Yeah.
That's office. So it gets pretty expensive.
Someone had.
I have a question.
Sure.
Of the 10,000 that come in, how many do you think will be euthanized? What's an estimate? Because I know it's alarming, and I think people should hear that. 8,000? 9,000?
Probably.
About 500 get returned to owners every year. That seems to be consistent. And then, but, you know, our adoptions are running 800.
Now it's 5,000 or 6,000.
Yes.
Okay.
It's an alarming high number.
I thought it was higher than that. That's still good.
That's still too many.
It's way too many.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Mayor, let me just make a couple of comments. I have served on that task force, and I want to tell you it's been very interesting to see the different folks that have come there and contributed to and brought different perspectives to the problems that we have here. I want to thank the Hunts, because they've taken a lead on this, not only with the PAWS situation, but throughout this problem. And it is really an issue after you listen to the vets speak, and you realize this is the Humane Society's at the table, PAWS is at the table, but you also recognize that these folks are advocates for the animals and such, and that should be where they spend their dollars. We appreciate what the Humane Society does, but as a practical matter, I view it, Humane Societies having to spend their dollars on something that, quite frankly, is an obligation of local government. this is a public health issue. And if anything, local government should be involved in, and namely the county, I'm going to tell you. The county should be taking the lead on this. This is a public health issue, and I've advocated this all along in these meetings. But at this point in time, it's the city of Burlington that is taking the lead. We're going to need to continue to take the lead on it, and as Harold says, to lobby all the different governmental entities to educate everybody involved, as well as to get all the funds together to match what you're doing here. And we do thank you for your seed money.
Any other comments?
I'd just like to echo Councilman Huffman and appreciate you guys stepping up and doing that. I mean, leadership is critical. So many times you think of government being taxes and water and sewer, and people don't always understand the impact that this type of situation imposes on the city. And Harold's had great leadership in this, but without folks like you, we wouldn't be near as ahead of the game as we are. So thanks a bunch.
Thank you very much, and thanks for being here as well. Next on the agenda is the Citizen Appreciation Award. Thank you. See you. Thank you for coming. Citizen Appreciation Award recognized